The other game. The other games very different from what we've seen in the second one. 0-2 now for Paris. They couldn't crack Fenerbahce one more time. They also lost the 2 games in the regular season. What do you think is what do you think Fener is doing to both slow down TJ Shorts and Paris team in general? Because it seems like it's an uncrackable puzzle for them right now.
Man, I'm hurt because I like Paris a lot. I just feel like Fener's just more experienced and more physical. Like they've been putting a lot of pressure on TJ, at least when he's like on the ball. I think you mentioned the point that like the big's been dropping and trying to force him to either take a 3 or make it tough mid-range, even though we know he makes his mid-range shots. And then they're kind of staying home and leaving that paint open so their shooters don't get going, which seems to be working. It seems to be a good strategy because they've finished and getting the job done.
DJ is now 1 of 6 in this series, so he only took 1 3-pointer. He missed. It was a like you just said, a wide open one because the big dropped really far down. And then I thought, from that moment, when you miss that wide open one, the hesitation in your head starts bothering you. And you could see with DJ that he wasn't willing to pull up from 3. He would rather, get into the paint or get those midi shots. But even those, he usually makes more of those. In general, I just thought paint protection for both teams have a huge problem, really, because both teams were just doing whatever they wanted in the paint, both Paris and Fener. Because for Fener, when they have Ken Birch in there, sure, you have some presence that, you can feel the presence. But when he's out of there, when it's Shanley or Bango or Banjo, I'm not sure, Jilson Bango, when he's in there, the quick guards, they're just too quick, on the switch or in general. When you have TJ Shorts and Hiffy, they can get around those guys, but not enough. And the main problem for Paris, I think, is shooting the 3-pointer. If you're making 23% in this game, the other game wasn't much better either. It's really tough to expect a win away against Fener.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of seeing when I was watching the game. Like, that's why I think Paris's offense, like they can get into the paint because a lot of guys are staying home on their shooters, and that way when they're catching the ball, they're forcing them to drive. And so now they're getting up threes with sometimes 3, 2, 1 rushing the shot, you know what I'm saying? And you're not going to shoot good percentages doing that. But Paris is a super young team. I think that's why the people who are going for him are going for him because, like, the story of Paris, people like TJ, people like Hiffy, Malcolm, Ward, like the whole gang, Hayes, and what they're doing this year. So, but, I mean, Fener's team and who they got and their experience is definitely showing in this series.
And we got to give some flowers for the offensive performance they had in the first half. They scored 61 points, and that was the highest since 2005 in the playoff game. And I would say it wasn't really Paris's defense that was bad. It was just such great offense from Fener. And I'm not talking about some crazy good ball movement sets or anything. They were just making some tough shots over defenders, sometimes out of situations where you don't expect anything to happen anymore, 2 seconds left. And then they pull up over somebody, makes those shots. And I think mentally, like, it's demoralizing when you're playing good D on paper, like you did everything you should, and then Fener still scores somehow, and then they score 61 points in the first half.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Those shots that kill your confidence. And then when it's just not happening from one player, when it's happening from like 2, 3, 4 guys, then it's like, man, what do we even do? Like Bonzi was hitting shots, then you come down, Nigel's hitting shots, then you come down, Wade's hitting shots, then you got Berbic subbing in. Oh, what do you know? He's hitting shots.
Yep.
Then I think it was the big fellow, Melly, he started hitting shots, or I might have said his name wrong, but you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, that's tough to deal with. And then you look up in the score and you're down 15, next thing you know.
Yeah, Viberic was the guy who had 20 points this game, 4 of 6 from 3. Like you said, shooting the ball really well. Oh, 3 of 5, sorry. Yeah, I mean, I don't really know, where does Paris go from here? Because I guess it's all about making shots. Do you think that's the only thing they're missing is making the shots that they create? Because I don't really see what would you do in Paris's position like.
Yeah, you just got to find ways to one. Obviously, making shots is always going to help, but maybe finding better ways to create shots and making it a little bit easy on TJ. Like TJ has a lot of usage, obviously a lot of ball screens and pick and rolls, but they're kind of gapping him and kind of forcing him to do what they want him to do and not what he really wants to do, if you know what I'm saying. So I don't know. They'll figure it out though. I think they'll have to make some adjustment because right now the first 2 games haven't been looking too good. Actually, the first game was all right.
Yeah, the first one was better than this one for sure. Do you see a sweep in this series by any chance?
Nah, I'm still going with Paris winning at least 1 or 2. At least 1 or 2.
Well,
that's just my feel-good story, though. You know what I'm saying? I'm going for Paris. Malcolm's from the city. I want all my dudes from the city.
Yeah, I don't know. Now if they haven't cracked them once in 4 games and haven't been close really, that's where I'm thinking with the playoff experience, the main point I was trying to present when we were discussing and previewing the series, I think that's what's also playing into how this is all unraveling. Because, Charas, whether you like him or not, defensively, he puts his team in a spot where he puts the other team in a spot where they're not comfortable. And that's what's showing. And I think the more the series goes, the mastermind that he is, I think, and the players that he have is literally perfect players to execute what you want to have. You know, like you got Nigel, defensive, probably one of the best defensive forwards in the league. You got just big bodies. Wade Baldwin at the point.
Right.
Like think about his length. You know, like you got the tools to stop these guys as much as you can. But this is enough. Apparently, this is enough what we've seen so far. So yeah, my prediction. You're saying not a sweep. My prediction is that actually they get it done away in Paris.
Man.
But we'll see.
It might be. I mean, it could easily be. Like, we haven't even talked about Gurich on that team. You know what I'm saying? That's like Fenerbahce has a lot of talent as well. I know we was talking about the talent of Olympiacos, but Fener's another one of those teams where you look at how they play as a team. And like we talked about their offense, how their offense kind of works, because it doesn't really seem like there's a lot of sets, but there's a lot of individual playmaking, individual shot making, and that's scary to go up against when dudes are making shots.
Just a bunch of very experienced veterans of the EuroLeague, I would say, you know, and that's showing really. And the thing is, for them, besides that center spot, I think they have like 2 5s. They can like 2 starting 5s almost, because when you have Devon Hall of the bench, Guduric, actually Baldwin came off the bench this game, McCollum, Melly, Shanley, like all these guys have been playing in the EuroLeague for so long, and I think Paris is just doesn't have that depth, which again I say for a team that runs so much, maybe in this series even more than what I said about Pau and Efes. When you're running so much, when you're playing, what did TJ play this this game only played 24 minutes, and that's usually what they do. They do a lot of substitutions, but generally when you're such a team that's based on speed, on running, and high energy, I think your battery's going down a bit if you have a shorter rotation like they do as well.